It is the Riot Podcast, Friday, June 9th edition. Got a weird headline here for you.
Let's hear it.
Bill Murray has a new romantic partner, Kellis, which may not be a name that rings very familiar to a lot of people. Kellis does the song, My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard.
Everybody knows that one.
Everybody.
I don't care who you are.
Your grandma knows My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard.
Nobody knows who sang it.
No.
But we all know that song, Bill Murray, Thirsty for Milkshakes.
Apparently.
What a wild duo. Now let's see how old do you think Kellis is?
I'm looking it up right now.
Bill Murray's 72. She is
43.
43.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of an age gap.
We've seen worse, though.
We have seen worse. But that's right there is a wild duo.
It's definitely an unlikely couple. Yeah, you could have given me a million guesses of who Bill Murray is dating and never would have guessed Kellis. You could give me a million guesses to name the person who sang My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. I wouldn't have guessed Kellis.
I wouldn't have either. But I'm looking at photos of them.
It
looks wild. They're a wild looking duo.
Yeah.
Bill Murray looks really old.
I guess I just always think this. I think I don't know. I think
at a certain age,
it doesn't matter to you. But for Kellis, like her being 43, at a certain point, what's the difference between a 45-year-old and a 75-year-old? It can be marginal at that point.
Now I'm looking through just weird celebrity couples over the years.
Oh yeah. And
there are some really weird ones that I didn't even know were a thing.
All right. Why don't you say one and I'll see if I can get the other one.
All right. I think it's pronounced Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah, from Home Alone.
Home Alone, yeah.
Who did he date?
This is between 2002 and 2011.
Wow, long
That's
term.
That's a long-term relationship, and you will never guess who this is.
I am going to say...
She is, like, well-known for being a very attractive woman.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez.
That would be wild. Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis dated Macaulay Culkin, huh? She has interesting taste.
You know that?
Him and Ashton Kutcher.
That should give... I mean, Ashton Kutcher, though.
Yeah, he's good looking.
He's a good-looking guy. Macaulay Culkin, on the other hand, not that he's ugly.
I'm not sure what Macaulay Culkin looks like at this point. I know, or what he would have looked like in 2002, but
I'm looking at
his brother, Kieran Culkin, looks real nice. So
I'm just saying, this is good hope for everybody.
It could happen for you. Like
that you possibly, as an average-looking guy, could possibly pull a beautiful woman.
Okay.
If you get in enough movies.
Got any more for me?
I'm looking at some other ones here. Madonna and Tupac.
Yeah.
That's a weird-looking couple.
Unique.
To think about. Let's see who else we got here. Courtney Cox. You know who that is?
Yeah, from Friends.
Yeah, from Friends. Michael Keaton.
Oh, he must have been a bit older than her.
He was, yeah.
He's actually getting up there.
They called it quits. They were together for 6 years.
You know, he's Batman in the new Flash movie, right?
Yes, he is.
He's like 70 years old.
Is he 70?
He's 70 years old. He's doing that. He's doing another Beetlejuice.
That's wild.
Yeah. Crazy.
How about this one? Nick Cannon.
Oh, who is he? I mean, he's been with a lot of people.
There's a lot of options. If you guess something, it might be right. It might be right. This is one of the biggest names that you could name. Maybe
Mariah Carey.
He was with Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the one that I pulled up here.
That's not even the crazy one.
But that's not the crazy one because they're like, well, no, this is him and Kim K.
No.
They were together.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? This one's a good one. Oh, I love this one.
Okay.
Ready? Sandra Bullock. Well known.
Of course.
She looks very different in this photo.
How old is that?
This is back when they were doing Murder by Numbers together. Dated for about a year. That's how you know it's old. I don't know how old they are in this, but it is a while ago.
Is it George Clooney?
It's Ryan Gosling.
You've done a lot of movies with him. Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling and Sandra Bullock. He said he praised her for being one of his best girlfriends ever.
Wow.
That's pretty high praise.
Good for her, actually.
Oh, it's great for her.
Good for her. Love Ryan Gosling. Canadian.
Is he Canadian?
He's Canadian, yeah. How young? I picture that seems to me that there will be an age difference, but I bet you there's not as much as you would think. I'm looking it up right now. How far in age are they apart?
Oh, those two?
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling and Sandra Bullock?
Oh, actually, no, there is a big age difference.
Who's older? It's Sandra, right?
Yeah.
How much older?
16 years.
Really?
Yeah.
She looks really young in this photo that I'm looking at here of them two together.
Yeah, she looks good.
She always looks good.
She's now 58.
She always looks so good, though.
She's
Ryan
58.
Gosling
He's 42.
That's crazy.
I would have thought, usually, I think you picture female actors as being, actresses, as some would say, as being actually older than they are when they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And then for guys, they just feel like they never age a lot, especially when you look like Ryan Gosling. But he's 42. Which is probably about where I probably would have put him, but I would have put Sandra Bullock being a lot younger.
All right, ready? Maybe two more.
Okay.
First one, Janet Jackson, Matthew McConaughey.
Wow.
That
is unlikely.
They met at the Grammys in 2002, and there were rumors back then they were dating, and neither of them ever confirmed it. However, in a 2006 interview, Janet admitted that they were dating for a while.
I'm doing some more research here because I also... Okay, now here's a surprise. Janet Jackson, younger than Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
And...
Matthew McConaughey?
She's younger than him by 1 year. Okay, she's still the older woman in the scenario, but much different. She's only 4 years older than Matthew McConaughey.
Last one.
I might have thought, in that case, once again, I thought there would have been a bigger difference, actually.
How about this one? Paul Rudd? Jennifer Aniston.
Is that unlikely? Two very attractive individuals. They got to be around the same age. Paul Rudd was on Friends, right? He was on Friends.
It said these two briefly dated while filming The Object of My Affection back in 1998. Remained good friends and even reunited to play a married couple in 2012 movie Wanderlust.
Oh, I love that movie.
But yes,
you should watch that.
It's not a super unlikely one. It's
that's
just
that's the most likely of.
But at the same time, it's just
named.
like, I don't know. It feels like two weird people.
They're both funny. Again, they had Hollywood connections.
Seems like an odd match.
I feel like they're around the same age. Maybe based off of the other ones. Maybe I'm way off on that.
I just can't imagine Paul Rudd dating. To be perfectly frank.
Why do you think he feels like he's
just a goofy
perpetually
guy.
single or perpetually married?
He's a goofy guy.
He feels like a married guy to me.
Yeah, married.
You know what? He's probably way older than Jennifer Aniston.
Ready, Paul Rudd age? He is 54. Jennifer Aniston, would you like to guess?
She's not 50 yet. She's not 50 yet. Don't tell me she's 50.
She's 54.
No way.
They're the same age.
Wow. Well, good for her then.
Good for Jennifer.
Good for her. I feel like I learned a lot here.
There you go. Weird couples.
Yeah.
Weird celebrity couples.
All right. Let's just get on to the podcast.
Good stuff in here.
Enjoy.
We had some grand stuff today.
Yep. Let's just leave it to the imagination.
Whatever you guys want it to be.
Or you have to listen to find out. And we'll have a good weekend, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys soon.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Imagine this. You're hitting the beach, having a grand old time. You've brought your giant inflatable duck. You named him Quackers. And you and some buddies, you're just having fun. You're just chilling out on the water, out on the ocean with your giant duck Quackers. And suddenly things start to take a turn for the worse. You look back towards land and you're getting further and further away.
You're drifting.
Until finally you're 75 meters from shoreline, and your buddy on a paddleboard isn't able to, or a kayak, I should say, isn't able to redirect the duck back towards land. You don't know where you're headed. And in comes the Coast Guard.
Oh, no.
We have here 3 guys in the UK who had to be rescued by their Coast Guard because they were floating away on a giant inflatable duck.
Says after about 5 minutes, they had drifted out about 75 meters from the beach.
Yep.
In 5 minutes, the Coast Guard was called when Quackers was 200 meters off the shore.
Yeah.
That's pretty far.
600,
That's real far.
600 feet.
That's 2 football fields.
That is 2 football fields. That is. It doesn't sound like much, but it's probably farther than you realize, farther than you'd want to be from shore.
On a duck.
On an inflatable duck with no means of redirecting yourself, evidently. no matter how hard your kayaking friend tries. But still, though, embarrassing.
Oh, so embarrassing. And you're on the duck, too.
Yeah.
And like you all three of you were on the duck. Nobody wants to be in the water because at that point you're so deep, it's scary.
Yeah.
And so you're all on this little duck. I would just feel ridiculous when the Coast Guard's approaching. Like, what is going through your mind at that point? I mean, all manhood has left you then, right?
How could you play it cool at that point?
There's no playing it cool.
Because like if you were out in the water that far, everybody would understand if you were panicky, if you were like, help
me.
But if you're on a giant inflatable duck, how are you going to, how is your attitude? What kind of attitude are you expected to have there?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not freaking out because you're on the duck.
You can't freak out.
But at the same time,
if you're the freaking out on a giant duck guy,
it's a bad look for a long time.
You're going to be made a mockery at that beach.
But at the same time, it would be scary.
Yeah, it would.
Because there's probably like sharks around. Like legitimately, you're that far out. Like you're on this duck and that's all you've got. The simplest of just little pushes from a fish could knock you off.
Yeah.
And then you're in deep, deep water.
Or you get a stiff breeze and all of a sudden, I mean, you're in who knows how deep of water.
One of the boys shifts his weight just a little bit one way or the other. Tips the duck. All three of you start to freak out.
I can't imagine that duck. I mean, it's giant. I have one of those.
Do you?
I do. I can't imagine that more than one person should really be on it, though. Yeah.
Let alone three of the boys.
Yeah.
It's a bad look.
Would you ever consider abandoning duck?
Abandoning the duck?
Yeah, and just trying to swim it back to shore?
No
600 feet?
No chance.
I can't think about running 600 feet.
Let
Forget
alone
about
swimming.
In
not a chance.
Treacherous waters.
Clearly, because they were drifting out, that means the current was taking them. So if they were to try to swim in, fighting against that current would not be ideal.
No, you know what you have to do?
What do you have to do?
Swim sideways.
So is that what you're supposed to do?
Swim.
I've heard something about that.
Perpendicular to or parallel to shore.
You're not doing that for 600 meters.
No, but enough until you
feet.
get out of the current and then you swim back to shore. That's what I was taught. Never had to put that into practice though.
But when you're 2 football fields away, the kind of shape we're in,
yeah,
we're not making it.
Just call the Coast Guard.
Get the Coast Guard. I'm clutching the dock. Just bring him out to me.
You just got to soak it.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
The United States House of Representatives sometime soon will be holding a hearing to investigate claims of UFOs and aliens from a government whistleblower.
Whistleblower. What a great word.
It's happening. A whistleblower has blown the whistle on UFOs and aliens. I don't know if you saw these claims come from this guy. His name is David Charles Grush. He is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office, agencies, which I'm sure we are all familiar with before just now. And he has made some wild accusations that the United States has recovered UFOs with non-human origins. He basically goes on to say that naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true, is a quote. In other words, he's saying that they've found dead aliens on crashed UFOs.
See, I think you can tell a lot about somebody by just like Googling them.
Okay.
See what pictures pop up.
Yeah.
This guy looks like a pretty trustworthy guy.
You think so?
When I heard this, yet again, I'm not much for the whole aliens
You're
thing.
not an alien guy.
Not a big aliens guy, not a big space guy, NASA, all that jazz. But when I look at this guy's pictures on Google, I mean, he doesn't look like somebody that would lie. He doesn't look crazy.
He's got a trustworthy face.
He does have a trustworthy face. He's got a nice smile on him.
Does he look a little, do you get this? Does he look a little mischievous?
Mischievous. I don't know. I've got him. I mean, he's wearing his camo.
Yeah.
Former Army guy, looks like, right? I mean, I don't know. It seems as if he could be telling the truth.
Well, listen, not only do you find him trustworthy, I guess the House of Representatives, Congress, finds him trustworthy enough that they feel they need to at least investigate this. they're going to start asking questions, pulling a thread of a sweater that I don't know if we're ready for it to unravel.
Unravel it.
Yeah. But it's official. I don't know if they have like dates or whatever. Congress has got a lot going on, but it feels like if they should make this a priority, perhaps. Would you say?
It could be one of them.
It could be something that feels pretty important.
The whole aliens thing. See, yet again, we go through this runaround all the time, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. Of the whole, no, I swear we found aliens. And then the government saying, no, we haven't. I'm getting tired of the runaround.
Yeah.
Can we just, nail it down?
It sounds like maybe even the government itself is getting tired of the runaround.
I feel like if the government's going to hide it from us, can you at least tie up the loose strings?
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
right.
I would rather just be completely hidden.
Well, what do you want them to do to David
teasers.
Charles Grush?
I don't want these teasers.
What are you asking them to do?
I'm not asking them to punish him. I'm just saying, if you guys are going to keep a secret, keep a secret.
Asking them to shut him up.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying shut him up.
By any means necessary.
I'm just saying, if you're going to share this information with people and you're trying to keep it quiet, then keep it quiet.
Yeah.
If you're ready to reveal it, reveal it. But I don't want this in between.
You nailed something. If this guy was really trustworthy, he would have not. He wouldn't be blowing a whistle, would he?
You're right. He wouldn't be.
Yeah. Now I've got to question everything. So
yeah, if the government could either tie up the loose strings or just let it all out. I need one or the other. I don't want this in between stuff. I'm getting tired of it.
I'm with you. Let's make up our minds. Well, hopefully the hearings, whenever they do come about from the House Oversight Committee, hopefully we'll get some answers, some long-awaited, long-overdue answers.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
This is a great debate for the summertime. It's wedding season. There's going to be a lot of people. I mean, it heats up right after Memorial Day. All the weddings, every weekend, some people.
It is heating up. This summer's a big wedding summer for a lot of people.
That's right. I think weddings are up this year, right? Because of, they went down during COVID, of course. And now people finally bouncing back, getting back into the marriage game.
Yeah.
And so here's something you might see out and about after someone gets married. They have the car with the sign. Typically, it'll say just married. Sometimes it has the cans dangling off the back. I don't see that so often. But some people are also adding their Venmo to the mix.
Just in case you want to send them money.
Send a wedding gift to a wedding you weren't invited to the new happy couple. What do you think about this? It's a big debate online. Some are saying tacky. Others are saying, what's the big deal? Where do you stand?
I like the comment that said, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, for me, I think it's not so bad.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because you can just ignore it.
It is easy to ignore.
It's not it's not like you're going through line and they're putting the little self-checkout thing in your face and they're trying to ask you for a tip,
Yeah.
They're not staring at you. You're just driving by. If you see it, you see it. If you would like to donate to their cause, you're more than welcome. You don't have to either.
Yeah, you can just
very passive.
Drive on by. What skin is it off of your back?
I agree.
If they put this on there. But that said, though, do you feel like it? Let's say you just got married.
Mm-hmm.
Would you feel a little tacky doing it? Wouldn't you feel a little wrong?
I wouldn't do it.
Feel kind of lame.
I wouldn't put it on mine personally, but for somebody else, if they want to, I wouldn't knock them for it either.
I like this comment. I see this all over my city anyways. Sometimes it's just the Venmo handle alone.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my thought of just you're going to get mad for somebody. They have whether people will give or not, I'm going to assume that the majority of people aren't just going to whip out their phones and send a Venmo to the stranger that just happened to get married. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because people post their Venmos all the time.
It's just
for much stupider reasons.
It's just in people's bios. It's in their bios on Instagram. They're like, if you want to send me money for free for no reason, oh, just send it there.
Yeah. Oh, you happen to stumble across my TikTok?
Oh,
why don't you Venmo me?
If you're on a TikTok, I'll tell you this much: if you're on TikTok and you're scrolling through the lives, and you ever see somebody on there, I mean, they're tossing out the Cash App or Venmo constantly.
Yeah.
They're because they act like people are sending it in the comments. They're like, oh, did someone else? looks like Heather asked me what my Venmo is. This is my Venmo for anybody who wants to just send me money randomly. Like, if you get on TikTok Live, that's on there. Any live stream, it's on there. If you go to just about any woman's bio on Instagram for whatever reason, it's on there. Because people must be just sending money. So maybe I should put it on mine.
I mean,
people are just sending money. Why don't they just send money to me?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So nobody can Venmo you if you don't have your Venmo out there, out and about. And so I'd say, especially when you're married, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And these people,
when you just got married,
or
if you've been married for years.
Yeah, whether they're getting hate online or what. Let's say they had like 5 people Venmo them like $100, $500. That's worth the hate, right? Totally worth it.
I think it's worth it for $5.
For $5, any kind of money.
Yeah.
If somebody sent him a Venmo alone,
I'm gonna make a license plate frame that has my Venmo. On it. Yeah.
If you'd like to Venmo me, you can. You're more than welcome.
More than welcome.
I need to put it in my bio. That's my next move. Putting my Venmo in my bio.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? If somebody's like, why would you do that? I'd be like, because I like money. I like free money even better.
Max is on board too. He says, most folks need a few bucks for a good start when they get married. True.
Facts.
Venmo. Do it.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Got a guy here. He's got an unhealthy obsession with the movie Titanic. You ever seen it?
No.
You never saw the Titanic?
Haven't seen it.
That is a classic. It is a classic. I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of the movie either.
Would you watch it tonight if I put it on? No, you wouldn't.
I probably would not want to sit. I wouldn't want to sit through all of that.
Exactly.
I feel like it's long. I don't even know. Titanic came out in 1997, broke a bunch of records, was wildly popular. And with one guy on TikTok who goes by JD, and his TikTok handle is actually Titanic Fan 97.
Big fan.
He is. I mean, it's his life. This movie. This is what he's gone viral for. He's amassing a collection of Titanic VHS tapes. VHS, that's video cassettes. That's what people used to watch movies before streaming, before Blu-ray, before DVD was VHS.
I think everybody knows what a VHS
you think so?
is. Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes,
I saw a
knows.
TikTok the other day. It was like a middle school teacher asking a bunch of kids trivia questions about the 90s. Not a single one of them knew a single thing.
The middle schoolers, they may not know.
There could be middle schoolers listening right now for all we know.
Middle schoolers are asleep. It's the summer, dude.
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing up at this hour?
They're listening to us talk about the Titanic and VHS tapes.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy, his goal is to collect 1,997 Titanic VHS tapes because the movie came out in 1997. So he wants to collect 1,997 VHS tapes of the Titanic. Currently, he is at over 1,500. He's got 1,560 VHS tapes of the Titanic. Look at this. Look at his room, this closet with all these tapes. This is crazy. He could build like a fort out of He could build a Titanic out of his Titanic VHS tapes.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah.
It costs about, I just looked it up, for a Titanic VHS tape.
To get one now?
Yeah, it's around like $6 to $10. You spent a lot of money on this. And the next thing is...
At least $6,000, I think, is a conservative estimate.
Let me do our next thing. Ready?
Uh-huh. What
do you think the odds are? What's his name? JD.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the odds are JD has a girlfriend? Putting that high?
Doesn't seem like it. It is one of the...
Because if I walk into that house, and you see that bedroom with all of them Titanic movies, those VHS tapes, I mean, it looks cool. It looks real cool, but that's raising some serious red flags, right? Has to.
That's that'd be a hard sell, I imagine, for many women.
I would say so. I mean, not
the
that
first
it's
time bringing them over.
It's not even a weird. Yes, it's kind of weird. The whole obsession over the Titanic. Like, it's not like it's a super weird thing.
No, it's a very popular movie.
It's a very popular movie. It's a cool thing to have but that many VHS tapes, 1,500.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of obviously a big part of his life. But I think you walk into that bedroom and you see that wall of Titanic.
I don't even know if this
tapes.
is his bedroom or if this is his living room.
It could be. Yeah, it could be his entrance to his house for all I know. Yeah. It looks like it's around the fireplace possibly. I'm seeing maybe a fireplace
that's
to
what
the
I was
left.
thinking. That's what I was
This is in his living room. You walk into his house and his whole living room, Titanic VHS tapes. I mean, that's something you're going to talk about with the girls in the group chat. And I'm going to go on a ledge here and say it's going to be a negative conversation.
That's right. It's one thing if you come over and you're like, oh, it's a Titanic. But then
I'm a huge fan. Like, that's one thing.
But you start talking to you're a gal and you relay that to your friends. Yeah, I met this guy. He went over to his house. He got a collection of almost 2,000 Titanic VHS tapes.
Like, your friends aren't going to be like, yep, that's the winner. Right?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no chance they're going to be like, oh, for sure. Maybe you should date him. You should go on a second date with him.
All right, here's the good news. The value of his collection, according to him, almost $55,000.
Because he owns all of them. He owns every VHS tape of the Titanic.
Yeah.
He can decide the market.
But scroll down in the story or fast forward in the TikTok and look what accompanies the VHS tapes.
No.
He's got mannequins with little.
It's over. It's over.
That's Leo. That's baby Leo, right? Leonardo DiCaprio's face on little mannequins.
That he printed off a printer.
Yeah.
This is weird now.
This
is all of a sudden
gone to another level.
Before I just saw the VHS tapes on the wall, the human life-size mannequins of Leo with the face taped on over the mannequin.
It's over.
I mean, that is, you can't even bring a woman in that house.
No.
Goodness, she's gonna think you're a psycho.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if the VHS tapes were an egg. I was gonna ask that. You cannot bring a woman in this house. I would be afraid. I would be afraid if I walked into the house at this point. It was okay for a little bit, and then I saw that
8772
a life-size mannequin. What?
Radio U.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
The weekend watch list, where we let you know what you could be watching at home or in theaters this weekend. I'll tell you, as far as theaters go, only one really noteworthy new release to speak of, and that is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. What's the last Transformers? How many Transformers movies do you think you've seen?
I might have seen all of them.
All of them, really?
They were on, yet again, I have YouTube TV.
Uh-huh.
They're always on YouTube TV. Dark of the Moon was on last night.
You watched it?
I didn't watch it last night, but it was on. I saw it. Let me look at all the Transformers movies, and let's see how many of them I have seen. I have seen Transformers.
Uh-huh.
I have seen Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Okay. I think I've seen that.
I've seen Dark of the Moon.
Those are the two Megan Fox ones, right?
Yes.
Dark of the Moon is with the new gal.
Yes, that's with Rosie.
Rosie.
And Lighty.
Okay.
And then we've got Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Is that with Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg. I have seen that one.
Okay.
Transformers: The Last Night. I've seen that one. Here we go.
Which one is that?
Now. That's also with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Then we've got Bumblebee. Seen it?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Bumblebee? I've seen Bumblebee.
I think I stopped at, I think I must have seen 4 of these.
And then we've got, because Bumblebee, that's Dylan O'Brien.
Okay.
It's Bumblebee. And then we've got Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I've seen them all.
And that's where we are.
Boom, boom, bing, bing.
Well, you've got to see this one to complete the collection. Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I'll tell you, critics not loving it. Shocker. 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. But the audience that has seen it so far, if this can be trusted, 88%. Rise of the Beast. It did have a real cool, I'll tell you, the trailer looked real great. Just because it just looks cool, you know?
I'm seeing Rotten Tomatoes critics consensus. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Thanks to some genuine human drama between the set pieces and palpable affection for the title characters, Transformers: Rise of the Beast is one of the franchise's more enjoyable outings.
Hey,
that's a pretty good review.
Doesn't sound so bad.
That sounds pretty good.
All right, so that's your option if you want to go to theaters. It's really that or stuff that's already been out. You think that can overtake Spider-Man at number 1?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That should be a nice heated battle.
Because Spider-Man came out what?
A week ago.
A week ago. Ooh, that's
Across
still
the
really
Spider-Verse
fresh.
just came out, and you know that's a movie. Although Transformers could be too, but Spider-Man definitely a movie you take kids to, and any movie that you take kids to tends to last longer in the theaters because people with kids, they don't care if they go the first week. You know?
Yeah, they don't care.
The kids don't care. They don't know.
I don't know. I could see this doing well.
You're just happy to get a slushie.
Oh, yes. So am I. That's why I go to the movie theater, too. I could see this doing well. Do I think it could overtake Spider-Man? I don't know. There's a lot of Transformers fans.
Yeah.
There's people that love Transformers, but now we're getting so far into the series now that I feel like it's lost some of its pizzazz.
Yeah.
Some of that, because when it first came out, I mean, it was legit.
You want to put a number on it?
80.
80?
I think
that
80.
feels ambitious. I think that's
You think
more,
so?
I think that's more than Fast and the Furious made, and I think
Transformers is more than Fast and Furious. I think that's more.
I think Fast and Furious is more.
You think it is?
I'll give it like 60 million.
You're gonna do 60?
That might be right about in line. Okay, what about this though? All right, let's say you don't want to go out to the movies. You don't want to see Spider-Man or Transformers. You could stay at home, flip on Hulu, and finally watch Flamin' Hot, the story of how Flamin' Hot Cheetos got invented. It's out now.
I saw that trailer.
Yeah. Didn't win you over, did it?
Wouldn't recommend if it was for me.
That has better reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. 67% for what it's worth.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I don't think there's an excellent chance of me watching that either. What about this, though? This sounds like you. Avatar, The Way of Water, now on Max and Disney+. Or you could watch Creed 3 on Prime Video, or Renfield on Peacock. All new theater movies now hitting streaming.
I think it's a Transformers weekend for me.
Transformers it is.
Will I see the movie? I'm busy this weekend. I won't be able to see it. I'll be honest. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be able to see it, but I will see it at some point because I've seen them all. So I'll continue the trend.
When it finally is on TNT.
Yep. Then once it comes to my YouTube TV, I am turning that thing on.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Get ready to light up the Riot hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Because we did the weekend watch list earlier today. The movies you could go ahead and watch, the new movies you could go ahead and watch this weekend. But now it's time to turn that on its head. What's a movie you've seen that you would never, ever watch again, no matter what? Even if there was a fire, you wouldn't watch it.
See, for me, when I think of this question, I think there's even good movies that you've seen that you would never watch again. Because that's what I have one, and that's what it's an example of. It's a great movie. But it gave me so much anxiety that I cannot watch it again. Because it was one of those movies that is so tough to get through. Because it's just like has you on the edge of the seat. The plot line is pretty dark. And for me, I'm not like a scary movie guy. And this movie wasn't scary. It just it was just a creepy movie. Gave me a lot of anxiety throughout. It's a thriller.
Yeah.
And it was the one that I have.
Wait.
Save it.
Save it.
Save it. Okay, I'm saving it.
After all that buildup.
I'm saving it.
I want to think about it.
It's a good movie.
I'm going to think about movies I would never watch again, but I'm also going to try to guess what that would be.
Came out in 2014.
877-2-RADIO-U. Text in movies you would never, ever watch again. Yeah, I think you're right, though. There can be various reasons. I can think of one that I would never watch again because I actually hated it. Because
it was so bad.
I did not enjoy watching it. I can also imagine some movies that are decent, at least, sometimes even good, but the subject matter perhaps might be something that is upsetting enough that you don't want to watch it again.
That's what
thing.
The one that I have. The subject was just it literally shook me afterwards because of just the anxiety it gives you. Just the plot line of it was so intense. It was such an intense movie that I'm like, I loved the movie. I really liked it. I would recommend it for somebody to watch it, not by yourself.
One time.
But you watch it one time.
And that's it.
And it will put you on the edge of your seat. It's not like scary, but it's just like enough anxiety for me that I was like, I did it. And I don't need to do it again.
All right. Text in 8772 with your movie ideas. I'll tell you one real quick, though. This isn't the worst movie I've ever... No. It's not a movie I would never watch again, but asking this question, it's the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters. Jupiter Ascending. You ever heard of that one?
I feel like I've heard of that, but I've never seen it.
Mila Kunis is in it. It makes no sense. She starts getting bees to fly around and whatever. Probably about the same time your movie came out.
Actually, this year... kind of looks up my alley.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Is it bad?
It was me and my wife. We were the only people. She wasn't my wife at the time. We go see this in theaters because we would go see a movie every single weekend.
Has Channing Tatum in it.
Channing Tatum, that's right. And it is, fortunately, we were the only people in the theater, so we could just make fun of that movie because it was so bad.
That's wild.
So bad. But I'd watch it again just to make fun of it again. So text in the movies that you would never watch again. 877-2-RADIO-U. We'll see what you're saying.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Let us know a movie you would never watch again under any circumstance. We talk about a lot of movies that we'd like to watch, but what's something you saw and hated so much you never want to watch again? Or I thought there was other options. You said you have a movie that's a great movie.
Grand movie.
You enjoyed it, watched it once, but it was upsetting enough, nerve-wracking enough that you would never watch it again. I'm going to guess that in a second. I also thought movies that you've just seen so many times at this point, you're like, never again. Not a chance.
The jokes have worn out.
Yeah.
You know? The
like
plot line, you know what's coming next.
For me, iRobot.
Great movie.
Because
Will Smith movie.
That used to always be on like TNT or something. And my dad would put it on all the time. And like, why are you watching the same movie yet again?
He liked it.
He liked it a lot. Or he just always started it halfway through and never got to finish because it was on TNT when he happened to be. Okay. Your movie, you said it was 2014, real upsetting movie?
Yes.
Was it Godzilla?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Come on.
No, who could say they would never watch Godzilla again? That was a good Godzilla. No, I don't know if I don't know if I know the answer.
It wasn't like in theaters or anything.
Well,
but it's on.
What kind of movie wasn't in theaters in 2014?
I believe it is on, I think I watched it on Netflix or Hulu now.
Uh-huh.
The movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nightcrawler?
Oh. I like the movie.
That's a good one, right?
I love the movie, and I'd recommend it to you if you haven't seen it yet. But it just shook me so much.
Yeah.
I went to bed that night. I was like, how am I supposed to sleep? Like, how am I supposed to go to bed after watching something so terrible? Like, it was it was such a good movie, but the plot is just so terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. I was trying to think if I could find any movies like that. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Love Nightcrawler. Would recommend it, but when you watch it, just know that it's going to upset you afterwards. Like, you're going to be upset.
Let's check in on the text. Jocelyn texted in The Ring, horror movie. Understandable that if, any horror movie, unless you're a horror head, maybe once is enough. Josh says the first Suicide Squad movie. Yeah, that movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
That one sucked.
I kind of liked it.
The Suicide Squad, the newer one, I thought was solid. Suicide Squad, no good.
Oh, maybe. Oh, the original one? Okay, yeah. I don't know if I've seen that one.
Ronnie says Life of Brian. That's a old Monty Python movie, like British humor. Rachel texted in one I've never heard of before, The Black Hole from 1979. She said real disturbing. It was a Disney movie, apparently. And literally, she says she watched it late at night with her family and when she was a teenager and could never watch it again.
It does look real old. I'm looking at pictures of it now. Max
has a good one. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That sounds terrifying. I understand.
Sounds like a terrible plot line,
I don't think I'd watch that in the first place.
Look at the picture that he sent, too.
I know. It's horrible. Justin says Napoleon Dynamite.
Controversial.
That's egregious. Justin, I've seen Napoleon Dynamite as much as almost any movie.
See,
and The Hateful Eight, which I also love. So that's a tough one for me, Justin.
I'm not a big fan of Napoleon Dynamite, but that's just me. So I agree with you, Justin.
Aaron says the Saw movies, plural. She kept going back to them, but she says it's not because they're so gross and scary. It's because they just have no plot.
She said any of the Saw movies. She's seen every one, but
I just keep watching them. I just keep waiting for a plot to show up.
One of them's going to get good.
Eventually.
At some point.
Eventually. Bub says Superman 4 Quest for Peace. Jeremy says The Gray, a Liam Neeson movie. It's
I like Liam Neeson.
He's out like isolated in the wilderness. He has to fight the wolves. That doesn't come until like the end of the movie. I enjoyed The Gray. He says he doesn't like movies that have an open-ended ending. I guess that's a spoiler alert. It's an older movie though. Then we also had this is such a clear answer. Taylor says Human Centipede. Why did you even watch that in the first place, honestly?
Yeah, it's a bad one.
And who else do we got?
You knew what you were getting there. Come on now.
Todd says The Titanic.
Never do it again.
Which we talked about earlier this morning. For me, I'll tell you the worst movie. Some people might even be upset that I even watched this in the first place. Seth Rogen movie, Sausage Party. Hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Did not enjoy that whatsoever. Sometimes I feel they can be funny. Seth Rogen and his crew. That was not for me. Not at all.
Yeah, another one with those Seth Rogen movies. I mean, you know what you're getting. Just stupid, dumb humor.
That was just too dumb.
It was just a little bit too dumb, eh?
Yeah, that's me. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of, it would be hard for me to never watch a movie again. Under the right circumstances, I'd put it back on.
Toss it on
if
there.
If somebody else put it on, I wouldn't leave.
You'd be willing to watch it. Just scroll TikTok and it's in the background. There you go.
Yeah.
Easy win now.
Uh-huh.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Everybody is looking to save money on dates, right? They're expensive. That's why we're seeing things like picnic dates and biking through the park dates take off. I have a guy here on TikTok who's gone viral. His channel is called Cost of Living Crisis Tips. And he has gone viral for presenting some ideas for $1 date night meals.
$1?
Before you look at the recipes, are you open to the idea? Be clear, I don't even think this guy would say, this is not a first date. This isn't something you do on the first date. Cook for your person that you're dating for $1. You got to go a little further than that.
Yeah, a little bit.
But once you're a few dates in, if you want to, hey, come on over, I'll cook for you. They don't have to know it's $1. But you can cook for two for $1 according to this. And so are you open to that so far?
No.
Not even under those circumstances?
No.
Under no, you'd have to be married is what you're saying?
Yes.
You have to be married to have $1 meal.
Or we had to be in a long-term relationship, I'm thinking.
Like real long-term.
I wouldn't even need $1 meal myself, I don't think. I imagine it's pretty gross, if I had to guess.
I don't think $1 meal has to be gross.
I think it would be gross,
but listen to this guy's meals.
Let's hear it.
Here's the first one. For under $1, he instructs you to go ahead and get spaghetti, baked beans, salt, and any seasoning available. And mix all that together. Obviously, cook up the spaghetti, mix it all up, heat it all up. Boom. Less than $1 meal for you and your date.
Not for me.
That's not for you. That sounds nasty. It
sounds disgusting.
This is the UK. They love beans there, right? They're big on beans.
I guess so.
What about this? Basically, actually, you know what? I'm looking through. He's got multiple meals, but they really come down to he's mixing spaghetti with like tomatoes and beans, pretty much.
So he's making spaghetti.
Yeah, pretty much for under $1. This one has peas. Peas and pasta. Yeah, they're not that out of the ordinary. It's just the actual ingredients he's putting in.
Yeah, it's just
Clearly,
not for me.
If you make pasta and then put whatever you want on it, you can make it for under $1.
Make it cheap,
I think it's the actual recipes rather than the idea.
Yeah.
Because if you make spaghetti and you just buy a can of tomato sauce and season it up with some oregano or whatever,
that's fine, yeah.
I think you could get away with that. That
sure.
seems sweet.
That's a
cute
nice dinner. Spaghetti, meat. If you do like a meat sauce, that's going to run you a little more money, but
that's right.
It's worth it though. I'm for sure putting in meat sauce. I'm doing like a meat red sauce. I'm not going to just do the red sauce. But for me, yet again, it looks terrible. What he's making looks terrible.
It doesn't please the eye at all.
I'm just trying to figure out here if he is in a relationship or not. Because if I had to guess,
he's 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at his pictures, he's put together, I'd say. I don't know if I'd call him attractive, but I don't think I'd call him unattractive.
He's not ugly.
No. I also don't know how much do you need? Do you really need? Are you living on such hard times that you need to do this $1 date night meal? I don't know. Things have got to be different in the UK.
Okay, so it says that he does have some women in his life.
Multiple.
William swears that he and Rebecca enjoy the meals he shares.
Oh, okay.
So he's got at least Rebecca. I need to see.
Oh, he's married.
He's married?
Well, that's not the same. Of course you can cook for $1 if you're married.
What is this? What kind of story is this? Is this a date? $1 date?
He says they're date night ideas.
I guess we're thinking first dates.
He's got different date ideas than us.
Is that even a date? if you're cooking at home with your wife, is that a date?
If you don't have kids, every night is a date then.
If you're making spaghetti with baked beans at home,
it's a date.
Is that a date?
It's a date.
Is that a date?
Is that you tell your friends? Well, me and William had a date last night.
Is that a date to you, William?
We sat at home.
We made dinner.
He cooked me spaghetti and baked beans.
And what'd you do? Watch a movie? That's like a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday.
It was a date.
It's not a date.
It was a date
William.
night.
What is this? Who covered this story, William?
This is a real news agency.
This is ridiculous.
This is a New York Post.
Who is doing this? This is awful.
It's an idea.
It's not even an idea.
It
For
is
what?
an idea.
For a Tuesday night with your wife? I guess for our listeners that are married, you can do this.
If you can't cook spaghetti and baked beans and salt for the person you're going out with and then be happy with it, then you shouldn't be with them.
There you go. I mean, I agree.
If they can't handle you at your worst, cooking spaghetti and baked beans, they can't handle you at your best.
I think once you're married, yes, you can make spaghetti at home, William. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
You ever wonder about the PETA president? About their life? What is that
Do
like?
I ever just think when I'm laying down in bed at night, I wonder what the PETA president is doing?
Sometimes PETA, again, I think I say this nearly every time we bring them up. I don't necessarily... I think in many cases an argument could be made for why that could convince me not to eat animals. I just think that PETA is never making it. They have never even thought once gotten anywhere close to convincing me with their arguments.
But they've convinced some people.
But so it just makes me wonder. It makes me think, what are they thinking? The president of PETA, I don't know if you know, her name is Ingrid Newkirk, and here's what she recently said. That when she dies, she would like her flesh to be cooked in a human barbecue and seasoned with onions.
Seems a bit odd. Odd request.
Yeah, but she's doing it to prove a point.
And her point is?
The point is that flesh is flesh. If you'd barbecue a pig, why wouldn't you barbecue a human? And if you'd eat a pig, why wouldn't you eat a human? Or... if you wouldn't eat a human, why would you eat a pig, a cow, a dog?
Now, sorry, I don't mean to laugh at people. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be good here. I am not against being a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I personally am not. I do eat meat. You know what, PETA, I think you do awesome stuff. There's a lot of great stuff you do. This argument here, though, I'm just completely analyzing the argument.
Well, hold on. You want to hear more of the quote?
Give me more. I want more context.
She says, you can barbecue my flesh, and you'll smell it cooking with those onions, and you'll think, oh, I want some of that. But it will make you think. That's what she said.
And what's this woman's name? Quote. Where's she at?
Ingrid Newkirk.
Ingrid Newkirk.
The president of PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
It helps me when I put faces to names. I need to see a photo just so I can get the full feel here. All right, Ingrid, I see your face now. This is wild. I mean, this is just complete wild talk. Yet again, not against being a vegetarian.
It's a crazy thing to
PETA
say.
And all that jazz, everything, treating animals right. I'm with it. I have a dog. I like Jim. I'd like to treat him nicely. I like animals. Do I like to eat them? I do. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But this argument here, not PETA's best work, Ingrid. I think we could do better. I do. If you were going to try to convince me, yet again, this would not be the way. Well, I think there might be a route where, actually, there's no route where you could convince me, but there would be a route where you could convince some people. There could be a route where
you could convince me.
Yeah, like this route here, I mean, they've obviously convinced people in the past don't eat meat. But this one here, this is not a convincing argument. I mean, not even a little.
Well, where's the flaw?
In the argument?
Because do you think she's right if you just smelled meat cooking on the grill and onions and whatever, all the seasonings involved, you might smell it and think, oh, that smells good. And then imagine how bad you would feel when you found out it was a person.
Well, I don't think the whole, eating of another person. I just don't think that's
it's not the same as eating an animal.
It's a completely different thing. Eating your own species.
Now you speak from experience because you, I'm sure you did 4-H stuff,
I did
right?
do it,
You had
yes.
pigs.
Uh-huh.
And what happened to those pigs?
They died.
You knew them.
I did.
You knew them, and then
White, neon. There's a whole Rocky. There's a whole bunch of them.
And then I'm sure that they were eaten probably.
They for sure were.
By
100%.
you?
Not by me.
Not by you.
I sold them to be eaten by someone else.
They were
Provider.
that good,
I was a provider.
Yeah. That's
Dwight came in 4th place in his class. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Shoulders on that guy. They were nice. They were nice. But this is an argument that I would back. Unfortunately, Ingrid.
Yeah.
This is not your best work.
I think the truth is that, again, I could probably be convinced temporarily to abstain from meat until I had to eat something that wasn't meat. And then I'd be like, well, this sucks. So I don't care. But the arguments to not eat meat would be very upsetting. This is just dumb.
Yeah, this is a bad
stupid.
one.
It's not upsetting to me. It's just dumb.
This is a bad argument. I'm not going to lie. It's a bad argument. And I wanted it to be good. I did. I wanted it to be a good argument, and it just wasn't. If it was a good argument, I would say it's a good argument. And I would back her. I'd be like, you know what? That was good. It didn't convince me, but that's a good argument. It could probably convince somebody else. This didn't convince anybody, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
With wedding season upon us, I've got some wedding advice here for you. You got to be careful what you wear to a wedding. I don't know if a lot of people really realize that there's a lot of rules for what you can and can't wear to a wedding that go a lot further than just dress nice and don't wear white. Because those are the obvious ones, right?
Yeah, we just don't want to upset the bride.
You don't want to upstage her. But I actually have here, there are eight different colors or different things. 8 different colors you're not supposed to wear to a wedding.
That leaves what, 3?
Yeah, not many.
That's what I'm thinking.
Not many. All right, let's start. Let's just go through. Any neon color.
Makes sense. Next.
It does?
Yeah.
I'd wear neon.
You'd wear neon to a wedding? Well, you as a man, you would look ridiculous.
I like it.
What do you mean? You're going to wear a neon suit?
No, but a neon dress shirt, like a bright green. What's wrong with that?
You don't. Who owns?
Supposedly.
Text in 8772 Radio U. If you have any neon dress wear as a man, go ahead and just let me know.
Maybe a neon tie. If I'm going to wear a tie,
we're not doing this argument for neon. There's 8 more. Come on.
Neon is that's the one I will go to the mat for. I want to wear neon to a wedding.
We just said you don't want to upstage the bride. You're going to walk in wearing a flashlight?
If somebody is looking at pictures of your wedding and they're more concerned with my neon tie or my neon dress shirt under a suit jacket than they are about how the bride looks, then they've got their priorities out of
look
line.
at me. That's what neon is. That's what it is.
It's summery. It's bright.
It's bright colors. It's the brightest colors you can wear. It's literally, if you want to attract attention, they literally tell you if you're running at nighttime to wear neon so people can see you.
Yeah,
wear orange. Construction workers wear orange so that you can see them. Drawing attention to yourself. Next,
the same color as the bridal party. How are you actually? Is there a way for you to know that ahead of time?
I don't know.
Do they tell you?
I don't know if they do, but that does make sense to me though, because it makes it look like you're in it.
Yeah,
and you're not.
It'd be confusing in pictures for sure. But other than that, I just don't know how you're supposed to know. This one makes sense. Anything that looks like denim, because it just looks too casual.
Yeah, this I thought you might take a stand on.
No, that's that's everyday wear for me.
But not special wear.
Yeah, not special. But also, though, I think that could still be important to point out because that may vary from occasion to occasion because a lot of weddings now are a lot less traditional.
Yeah.
So maybe that would actually be okay.
Stay away from denim.
All right, this one's same as neon metallic colors. Again, too shiny, bright, apparently stealing away attention. This one, this is a clear one. All black.
Yes.
You're not going to a funeral.
I agree.
Let's show some happiness. Loud colors.
See, now we're getting to a point where
it's a little vague.
Yeah, where are we at now? Like, is red loud? Is that too loud?
Red is also on the list separately.
Oh, red's on the list?
It's its own thing.
Oh, it's the next one.
Yeah.
I don't rock red at
weddings. Red
weddings,
is real loud. Red is a look at me color.
It is.
Also, I've seen that.
Maroon works though, right?
Yeah, I think maroon would be okay. That's not too loud. But red also, and some people will say that it means that you're doing a little hanky-panky with
Is that so?
That's what it's supposed to mean. I
guess
know.
it is kind of a
Who's
seductive
thinking
color.
of that at the wedding? Honestly, if you show up wearing red and somebody's like, oh, I know what you're up to, They're the wild ones, not you.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did just read that. And then finally, lastly, this is clear. Anything close to white.
Okay, so now we have a gray available. I'm a gray fan.
I think gray is okay, but like if it's tan,
I love tan.
Cream.
I love tan.
Don't wear cream to a wedding.
You can't wear cream. I think like as long as if you can wear
eggshell.
You can wear tan as long as it's a dark tan.
Dark tan for sure.
Yeah, like almost closer to like a khaki color, you know?
Okay, I think we can get away with that.
I think that makes sense to me, but be careful what you wear.
Yeah, I don't know what's left.
Blue?
Honestly,
You can wear blue as long as
that's loud.
shower.
Loud. It's got to be like periwinkle.
You can just wear gray.
Periwinkle and lavender is all that's allowed.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.